Hi, good morning children. I hope you are fine. I am V.S. Narayana, your mathematics teacher. I hope all of you watched my video on why should we study mathematics in school. If not, the link is provided in description and in iCard also, you can watch it. Now this is the first video we are making for 10th class students. Watch this video also without skipping till the end. Now let us start the class. I think today is Sai's birthday, no? So let us wish him happy birthday to you, Sai. Coming to the topic. So numbers play an important role in the field of mathematics and in real life also. So let us see one situation in real life. So today is Sai's birthday, no? So the moment you were born, your parents probably noted the date, time, height, weight, and most important thing, they counted your fingers and toes also. So to record all these, we use the numbers. So that is one use of numbers in daily life. Let us discuss different kinds of numbers you learned in previous classes. So the first set of numbers is, set of naturals. It is denoted by n. N is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. And the second one is the set of whole numbers, the starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And my dear children, these whole numbers are also called counting numbers. What they are called? Counting numbers. We use these numbers for counting. You may have got the doubt, do we use the 0 number to count? Yes, we use. For example, you say, how many pens are there in my hand? 1. Now, how many? No pens are there. So, no is denoted by 0. So, that's why 0 is also called counting number and whole numbers are called counting numbers. And next type of sets are integers. So, integers are denoted by Z. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. So these are denoted by Z. You know why they are denoted by Z. And next one is rational numbers. So what are called rational numbers? The numbers which are in the form of P by Q are called rational numbers. For example, 1 by 2, minus 3 by 4, 0, minus 5. So these are the rational numbers. And rational numbers are in the form of P by Q. And the numbers you express in the form of P by Q are called rational numbers. They are denoted by Q, where Q not equal to 0. And the next set is irrationals. And square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5 and pi. So these are the irrational numbers, Pi is a well noted irrational number. So these rationals and irrationals are called together real numbers. That means Q union Q dash is equal to R. That means the union of rationals and irrationals are called real numbers. So irrational means not rational. So irrational. Responsible, irresponsible. Regular, irregular like. So they got the name. Now, how the name real number got? So before inventing imaginary numbers, so what are called imaginary numbers? The square root of negative real numbers, that is negative real numbers, square root of minus 2, square root of minus 3 and so on. So we can write square root of minus m, where m belongs to R. The square root of a negative real number is called imaginary number. Before inventing imaginary numbers, there is no specific name for real numbers. So to separate from all these numbers, these imaginary numbers, all these are called as real numbers, isn't it? So our topic is chapter 1, real numbers. So this is the first chapter from our syllabus. So let us discuss more about real numbers. So you are very familiar with these numbers already. You learned the properties and everything in previous classes. So let us see the further use, that is the use of mathematics in our real life. So let us see one example. Sai, did you bring the chocolates for distribution? Give me. If you keep over there, they will be finished before you distribute. They will be completed by. Hurry, don't worry, you will get it. So he will distribute in the end of the class. I will keep with me. I will count it and give you back. Now, so let us see the application of mathematics in our real life situation. So let us find how many chocolates he brought actually, isn't it? So Sai, how many you brought?
At most 50.
So at most 50, it means around 50 you doesn't know, but I counted them. So let us find how many you brought exactly by the help of a mathematical concept. So before finding them, I will give some hints. That is, let the total number of chocolates is equal to x, and he stated that, he told that x is less than or equal to 50. He said that at most 50 means maximum 50, so not more than 50. And this is the first condition. And the second condition is they were divided into some groups. That means 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 and 5 groups. So they divided into some groups. Each group contains equal number of chocolates. And step 1, see, if the number of chocolates were divided into 2 groups, 1 chocolate is left over. So 2 groups plus 1 is equal to x. That means these are the groups. 2 groups plus 1 chocolate gives the total number of chocolates. So let us formulate this. What is the meaning of formulate? We have to convert this information into mathematical equation. Converting a mathematical equation is called mathematical formulation. That is, let us see 2 groups and A chocolates is equal to x. That means 2 into A groups, A number of chocolates plus 1. That is, A belongs to n. So each group having A chocolates, 2 into A plus 1. And if they were divided into 3 groups, 3B plus 2 chocolates were left over. That means when they were divided into 3 groups, 2 chocolates were left over. That is 3B plus 1. B is the number of chocolates in each group. And third one, if they were divided into 4 groups, the 3 chocolates were left over. That is, C belongs to set of naturals, a natural number it is. And fourth one, if they were divided into 5 groups, no chocolate is left over. That means number of chocolates divided by 5 and they do not leave any remainder. So from these hints we have to find the total number of chocolates. See, come to the analysis. It is given that these were divided into 2 groups and 1 chocolate is left over. That means total number x is divided by 2 and 1 is left. 1 is left over means it is an odd number. So total number of chocolates be odd number. Why? Because 1 chocolate is left over when divided by 2. And one more, when they were divided by 5, it is no chocolate is left over. That means total number of chocolates were multiples of 5. Multiple of 5. So it is a multiple of 5. So now let us try. So the expected chocolates are 5. It is an odd number and a multiple of 5. You will not get a 10. Why? Because 10 is even number. 15 and 25, 35 and 45. even 50 also won't get it. It is even number, and moreover it is less than 50. Now let us check the given conditions. So 5, 15, 25. So let us see the condition 25. When 25 is divided by 2, you will get a remainder 1. So this condition is satisfying. But when it is divided by 3, 3 8s are 24 plus 1. 1 is remainder here. But here how many chocolates left over? 2. Remainder is 2. So this option is not valid for when divided into 3, divided by 3. Now 35. When it is divided by 2, you will get 1 chocolate left. 2 17s are 34 plus 1. And 3 chocolates. 3 11s are 33 plus 2. And 4 chocolates. 4 8s are 32 plus 3. It is satisfied. And 5 7s are 35. So this option is satisfied by all the conditions. So the number of chocolates is equal to, he brought, is 35. Now, so this is one concept we used here. So now we got it. So how many Sai brought the chocolates? 35. So this, by applying mathematical concept, we brought here. Now if we generalize this concept for any two positive integers a and b, we can find two whole numbers q and r, such that a is equal to bq plus r. Once again, a is equal to bq plus r. For any two positive integers a and b, we can find two whole numbers q and r, such that a is equal to bq plus r. So like this. So general application of this above situation is this. If you observe carefully, this is nothing but a division algorithm. So in primary class also you learned about the division algorithm. So I will write the short form of the division algorithm. So where d is equal to d into q plus r. So all of you know what is the d. D is the dividend, capital D is the dividend, small d is the divisor, and q is the quotient plus r. Isn't it? That means when dividend is divided by d by q quotient, we will get some remainder. This is what division algorithm you know. So we applied the concept of division algorithm here to find the number of chocolates. So unknowingly we applied the division algorithm here. So in this way we can apply mathematics in any situation to find the problems, isn't it? Now this further we can extend. This is further extended by Euclid. So that's why it is called Euclid's division lemma. Now let us discuss about Euclid's division lemma. Euclid algorithm. The statement of Euclid algorithm is, given positive integers a and b, where a is greater than b, there exists a unique pair of whole numbers q and r satisfying the relation a is equal to bq plus r. This is nothing but division algorithm, as we discussed earlier. Now let us see the conditions for remainder r. See, when 15 is divided by 2, 2 7s are 14, 1 is the remainder. That is, remainder is less than the divisor b, and remainder is greater than 0 also. So 1 is greater than 0. And in another example, you see, when it is divided by 10 is divided by 2, 2 5s are 10, remainder is 0. So remainder may be 0 or greater than 0. This we can write as 0 less than r, 0 is equal to r, and r is less than b. So combining all this, that is 0 less than or equal to r less than b. So this is the condition for r, that is remainder. That means remainder may be 0 and less than divisor b, and it may be more than 0. So this is what Euclid's division algorithm is. So this algorithm is also called Euclid's lemma. What it is called? Euclid's lemma. What is called lemma? A statement already proved and used for proving other statements. That means this Euclid's division algorithm is applied to prove another statements in mathematics. So that's why it is called lemma. Lemma means a statement already proved and it is used for proving other statements. So this Euclid division lemma is used to find the HCF of any two positive integers. That means let m and n are the two numbers. HCF of m comma n is written as r. So what is meant by HCF? Highest common factor. So you learned about this highest common HCF about in previous classes in primary section also. So HCF of m comma n is written as HCF of m comma n is r. So let us find HCF of two given numbers. So let us take 100 and 60. These two are the positive integers. So before applying Euclid's division lemma, let us find by an activity. Let us find by an activity. So these are the two strips, paper strips of equal width. So this is of 100 centimeters length and another is 60 centimeters. Why? Because our given numbers are 160. Now we have to find the maximum length of the strip which measure both the strips without leaving anything. So this is 60 and this one is. So let us find it. So 160, this is 60 centimeters, pink one is. Now, so cut here, you will get a piece. Let it be, it is, can you say how much this length is? 40 centimeters. Now, again, this 60 centimeters take. 60 centimeter strip I have taken. Now, so again, cut it. Again, can you say what is the length of this remaining one? This is of 60 minus 40, 20 centimeters. So this 20 centimeters strip measure the both 100 centimeter strip and 60 centimeters. This is what HCF of 60 and 100 centimeter strips. So we can write this as HCF of the is 20. Now let us find the HCF of two strips 160 by applying Euclid's division lemma. So here I am taking A is equal to 100. Why? A is greater than B in the condition. So B is equal to 60. Now 100 is equal to 60, this is the first divider. 60 into how many times it goes in 100? One time, plus the remainder is 40, isn't it? Now again this divisor becomes a dividend of next division, that is remainder 40. So this divides one time, this goes for one time now, 41 the 40, remainder is 20. And again this divisor becomes a dividend, so remainder becomes a divisor. 20 into 2 is equal to 40, remainder is 0. So until we get the 0 remainder, the process is continued. Then what is the HCF now? HCF is equal to 20. Now you can check by normal division. You have practiced in earlier classes. 61 the 60, 40, remainder. Again take 60, 1 the 40, 20, again take 40, 20 to the 40, the remainder is 0. So the last divisor is called HCF, as you know. So in all the cases, in all the methods, by activity method we got the HCF 20, and division method also we got 20 HCF. Here what is HCF here? HCF is equal to 20, and by applying HCF also, division lemma also we got to 20. Okay, so this is a use of Euclid division lemma for finding the HCF of two given numbers. So let us do one problem from a textbook. So find the HCF of 1.2 and 0.12. So in textbook it is given in think and discuss. So as per the statement of Euclid's division algorithm, A and B should be positive integers, but here 1.2 and 0.12 are the decimals. So actually Euclid's division lemma can be applied for decimals also, but in our textbook, so the application of Euclid division lemma for decimals is not discussed, but I will show you how to find. We can find it. So here 1.2, A is equal to 1.2 is greater than that, B is equal to 0.12. So what is the lemma? A is equal to BQ plus R, 0 less than R is less than B. Here A is 1.2 is equal to, what is the first divisor? 0.12 into 10 plus exactly the 0 is the remainder. So 0.12 into 10 is, what is the product of these two? So that means 0.12 divides 10 times, this is 1.2. So what is the HCF of these two? HCF is equal to 1.2 and 0.12 is 0.12 is HCF. But this method is not discussed in our textbook. So no need to do in public examinations, they won't ask. For your practice I given. So one more question you can practice, you can find it, 0.5 and 0.05. So you can find the HCF of these decimals by applying a division lemma. So find the HCF of these two numbers. Let me know the answer in comments. Sorry. So now the uses of HCF. So where these are used? Uses of HCF. So just now in previous example, in finding the maximum length of the strip which can measure the given strips exactly. So that is one use of HCF. And one more thing you can apply in liquids also, in measuring the liquids. For example, there are two vessels of volume 100 liters and 60 liters. See, this is of 100 liters and another is of 60 liters. So what is the maximum volume of the vessel which fill the both vessels completely? That means we have to find a vessel which completes the fill both 100 liters vessel and 60 liters vessel. So this is nothing but HCF of two numbers, that is 100 and 60 is 20. So we got in first example. So this is one more use of HCF in our daily life, isn't it? These are the two uses. There are so many uses. The use of HCF in mathematics. Every day we follow this. You see, in mathematics we are familiar to simplification of rational numbers. For example, you see 35 by 75. So generally we cancel this one. 5 1 ja, 5 7 ja, 5 15 ja, 7 by 15. That means we are dividing both the 35 and 75 by 5. So where it is called HCF. So we cancelled by 5. So this is what HCF of 35 and 7. Actually unknowingly we are using the HCF. 5 7 the 5 15 the where we cancelled. That means 5 is the HCF of 35 and 75. Now you can verify again by the taking examples 28 and 512. So what is the HCF of 512 and 28? Find it and write your answer in a comment box. Actually this technique we can use reverse process also. The reverse process means, see, for example 35 by 75. In cancellation 5 7 ja, 5 15 ja. 5 is the HCF. Just now we did HCF is equal to 5. And one more 25 by 625. So the HCF of 25 and 625. Let us see. So generally we start the cancellation with the 5. 5 5 ja, 5 125 ja, 5 1 ja, 5 25 ja. That is 1 by 25. The HCF is first we cancelled by 5. 5 5 is 25. Next it is by another 5. So 5 5 is 25 is the HCF of given numbers 25 and 625. So let us check by applying a lemma, that is 625 is equal to, what is the first divisor? 25. 25 into 25. 25 25 is 625, that is 0. So this last divisor HCF is 25. So in cancellation what we got? First we divided by 5. 5 5 is 25 and again one more by 5. So 5 5 is 25. So 25 is the HCF. Try to understand. Look at the board here. Now this technique works out very well in solving multiple choice questions. For example, what is the HCF of 10 and 15? 10 and 15, that is 10 by 15. 5 2s are 5 3s are. So this is 2 by 3. Here HCF is 5. So without applying division lemma or without going to actual division, you can find the HCF. So in reverse process we are using, isn't it? So this technique is most useful in solving multiple choice questions. You can apply. Now the application of EDL. EDL means Euclid division lemma. So as I said, lemma means a statement already proved and it is used for proving of other statements. See, this is a statement. You use Euclid division lemma to show that any odd positive integer of the form 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is an integer. So this is a statement we have to prove by EDL. Let us say, let A is an odd positive integer. What it is? Integer. So A is a positive integer. That means, and B is equal to 6 we have to take. Now what is lemma? A is equal to BQ plus R. What is the condition? 0 less than R is less than B. That is 0 less than or equal to R less than B. That is the condition. So look at the board. This is also important one. Now here A is a dividend and B is a divisor. So A is equal to 6q plus R. That means A is divided by 6. So dividend A is divided by 6. Then what are the possible remainders we will get? 0 less than or equal to 6 less than or equal to divisor. What is the divisor? 6. That means we will get the remainders from r is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 less than 6. That should be remainder should be less than the divisor. Okay. Now, so let us check the conditions. Different cases. First case. What is the first case? If r is equal to 0, so then what happens? A is equal to 6 cube plus 0. We are taking r is equal to 0. So that implies A is equal to 2 into 3 cube. So where it is an even number. So 2 into multiple of 2 means it is even number. Now second one. If r is equal to 1, that is A is equal to 6 cube plus 1. This we can write as 2 into 3 cube plus 1. This is an odd number. 2 into something. 2 into something means it is even number plus 1. Even plus 1 is odd number. We know that. And third one. If r is equal to 2, then A is equal to 6 cube plus 2. So let us take 2 common here. 2 common. 3 cube plus 1. So this is the multiple of 2. 2 into something means it is multiple of 2. So it is even number. And fourth one, if r is equal to 3 and A is equal to 6 cube plus 3, then it can be written as 6 cube plus 2 plus 1. So I am taking 2 common over here in first 2. 2 3s plus 1. So 2 into something is a multiple of 2 plus 1, it is odd number, isn't it? So the same way, fifth one, if r is equal to 4, A is equal to 6 cube plus 4. Now let us take 2 common here. 3 cube plus 2. So multiple of 2 it is an even number. The last one, if r is equal to 5, A is equal to 6 cube plus 5. That is, this we can write as 2 cube plus 4 plus 1. So taking 2 common in first 2 terms, 3 cube plus 2 plus 1 it is, plus 1. So it is odd number. So multiple of 2 plus 1 is odd number. So what are the odd numbers we got? 6 cube plus 5, 6 cube plus 3 and 6 cube plus 1. Isn't it? Therefore 6 cube plus 1, 6 cube plus 3 and 6 cube plus 5, they are the odd positive integers. They are in the form of 6 cube plus 1, 6 cube plus 3 and 6 cube plus 5. So this is what the solution is. So the next problem. Use Euclid division lemma to show that the square of any positive integer is of the form 3q or 3q plus 1. So this is a problem we have to prove. That is a statement we have to prove. Now what is Euclid's division lemma? A is equal to bq plus r. 0 less than r is 0 less than or equal to r is less than b. Take two integers, two positive integers, a comma 3. That means when a is divided by 3, you will get the quotient q and the remainder r. Therefore a is equal to b is 3q plus r. In this case, what are the remainders we will get when it is divided by 3? So you know the remainders are 0 less than r is less than 3. That means the remainders what we get? 0, 1, 2. Shall we get 3? No, why? Because it should be less than 3. Now look at the board. If r is equal to 0, case 1 I am checking, that is case 1. If r is equal to 0, what do you get here? A is equal to 3q plus 0. That implies a is equal to 3q. Now squaring on both sides. Square this on both sides. What do you get? Squaring on both sides. So we will get a square is equal to 3q whole square, that is 9q square. This we can write as 3 into 3q square. 3 into 3, this is a 9, no, 3 into 3q square. That we can write as a square is equal to 3 into, this I am taking by some other integer, 3p, sorry, this is 3p, where p is equal to 3q square. Okay, now case 2. What is case 2? If r is equal to 1, what do you get? A is equal to 3q plus 1. So squaring on both sides, this squaring on both sides, what do you get? A square is equal to 3q plus 1 whole square. So Mr. Hari, see this 3q plus 1 whole square. This in which form? Read once, 3q plus 1 whole square. Can you tell the formula? Yes. Okay, this is in the form of a plus b whole square. So a square, that is 3q whole square is 9q square, 2ab, 2 into 3q into 1, 6q plus b square is 1, isn't it? Now I am taking 3 common here in first two terms. So take 3 common. 3q square, 3q plus 1. So this is 3p plus 1, where p is equal to 3q square plus 2q. This one is taken as 3p plus 1. That is in the form of 3p. A square is in the form of 3p and 3p plus 1. This is a square. Now case 3. Yes, case 3. So if r is equal to 2, then what do you get? A is equal to 3q plus 2. Again squaring on both sides this. So a square is equal to 3q plus 2 whole square. Now again see this one, 3q plus 2 whole square. This is in the form of a plus b whole square. The formula for a plus b whole square is a square plus b square plus 2ab. A square, that is 3q whole square, is 9q square plus and 2ab, 2 into 3 into 2, 2 to the 6, 6 to the 12q plus b square is 2 square, that is 4. So here I am taking this a square as 9q square plus 12q plus 4 I am writing as 3 plus 1. We can write it, no? Isn't it? Taking 3 common in the first 3 terms. 3 into 3q square plus 4q plus 1 plus 1, this as it is. Again, this we can write as 3p plus 1, where p is equal to 3q square plus 4q plus 1. Now a square is of the form 3p plus 1, and here is one more 3p plus 1, and the first one is 3p. That means the square of a positive integer a is, its square is in the form of 3p plus 1, and one more is 3p plus 1. So this is a proof for the given statement. So this is also one application of Euclid division lemma. Next problem, see, look at the board. Use Euclid division lemma to show that the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. So this statement we have to prove. Now, so let us take Euclid's division lemma. What it is? A is equal to bq plus r. Again, you know what are the condition? 0 less than or equal to r is less than b. Now take two positive integers a and 3. That means a is divided by 3. Now a is equal to b. What is the divisor? 3. 3q plus r. Now you have to tell what is the possible remainder. So divisor is 3. That means remainder should be less than 3. That is 0 less than or equal to r is less than 3. So the remainders are 0, 1, 2. Shall we get 3? No. So only 0, 1, 2, 3. Why? Because less than 3. So now let us check the different cases. So what is it? First case is, let us take case 1. When r is equal to 0. So that means in place of r we have to put 0. That is a is equal to 3q plus 0. That implies a is equal to 3q. This is 3q. Now let us cubing on both sides. In the above problem we did squaring on both sides. So a whole cube is equal to 3q whole cube. That implies a cube is equal to 27. What is 3q whole cube is? 27q cube. So this we can write as 9 into 3 into cube, 3q cube. So where this is 9m we can write. So I am taking m is equal to 3q cube. That means a cube is in the form of 9m. This is. Now case 2. What is the case 2? When r is equal to 1. So then what do you get? A is equal to 3q plus 1. Now cubing on both sides. What do you get? I am writing here. A whole cube is equal to 3 cube plus 1 whole cube. So once you look at the board, this is a whole cube is equal to 3 cube plus 1 whole cube. Can you say any algebraic formula involved here? A plus b whole cube. What is the formula for a plus b whole cube? So I will write the formula here. What is the formula? A plus b whole cube is equal to a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. This is the identity you learned. Now a cube is equal to, first one, a cube in 3 cube whole cube. I am writing directly 27 q cube, 3 cube is, plus 3a square b, 3a square, what is a? 3 cube. 3 cube whole square means 9q square into b, b is 1, plus 3ab square, 3a is 3q into 1 whole square. This is 3ab square plus b cube, b is 1. Now simplify this. 27 q cube plus, this is 3 9 the 27 1 the 27 q square plus 3 3 the 9q plus 1. So here I am taking common. What we can take common? 27, 27, 9. So all they are the product of 9. So I am taking 9 common here. So 9 3 is 27 plus 9 3 is 27 q square plus 9 1 the 9 plus 1 as is. Again this is, now a cube is equal to, so a cube is equal to 9m plus 1. So here a cube is in the form of 9m plus 1. So one more we have to prove this one, 9m plus 1. See case 3. So when r is equal to 2, then what do you get? A is equal to 3 cube plus 2. Now cubing on both sides, what do you get? A whole cube is equal to 3 cube plus 2 whole cube. So again this is in the form of a plus b whole cube. The same formula will apply. A cube, that is 27 q cube plus 3a square b. A square means 9. 9 3 is 27, 2 is 54. 54 q square, a square. Now 3ab square. B square is 4, 4 is 12. 12 3 is 36 q plus 8. Now you say in the first 3 terms I am taking 9 common. That is a cube is equal to, taking out 9 common, 9 3 is 9 6 9 4 plus 8. Again this is in the form of 9m plus 8, where a cube is equal to, here m is 3 q cube 6q square plus 4q. This is 4q. So this is a cube is 9m plus 1, a cube is 9m plus 1, and a cube is 9m. So he asked you to prove the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m, 9m plus 1 and 9m plus 8. So in the last you have to write the conclusion. What do you write the conclusion? The same. Therefore the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. So this is a complete solution. Next problem. Fourth one is, show that 1 and only 1 out of n plus 2, n plus 4 is divisible by 3, where n is any positive integer. So that is a given statement we have to prove by using a Euclid division lemma. What is Euclid division lemma? A is equal to bq plus r, where 0 is less than or equal to r less than b. Now take two positive integers, say n and 3. Here in place of a we are taking n. Observe this. Here in place of a we are taking n. Now what we will get? N is equal to b. B is divisor, that is 3. 3q plus r. What is the condition for a remainder? That is 0 less than or equal to r less than 3. Now the remainders we get are 0, 1 and 2. So as above problems, so let us check different cases when r is equal to 0, r is equal to 1, r is equal to 2. So case 1. What it is case 1? When r is equal to 0. That means in place of r we have to put 0. That is n is equal to 3q plus 0. What do you get here? 3q plus 0 is 3q only. That means n is equal to 3q. It is divided by 3. Why? Because it is multiple of 3 now. It is divided by 3. Now case 2. What is case 2? When r is equal to 1 here. So n is equal to 3q plus 1. Here what we got? N 3q plus 1. But what he asked? He asked to prove n plus 2. So now the value of n plus 2, let us find. Now n plus 2 is equal to n. What is n? Here this is. That is 3q plus 1 plus 2 as it is. This is n plus 2. So n plus 2 this is. That is 3q plus 1 plus 2 is 3. So can we take any common here? Look at the board. So we can take a common 3. 3 of q plus 1. So it is a multiple of 3. 3 into something. So it is divisible by, it is also divisible by 3, isn't it? Why? Because it is a multiple of 3. Now case 3. Case 3, that is when r is equal to 2. That is n is equal to, what do you get? 3q plus 2. Now next one, what do we have to prove? N plus 4. Now the value of n plus 4 we are finding. N plus 4. What is n? 3q plus 2. So 3q plus 2, this plus 4 as it is. Then adding these two, that is 3q plus 6. Again, can we take any common over here? See, taking common 3. 3q plus 2. Again this is multiple of 3. So multiple of 3 means it is divisible by, it is divisible by 3. That means, say n is divisible by 3. Why? Because 3q. N is n plus 2 is divisible by 3, and n plus 4 is also divisible by 3. So you have to write the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Hence, instead of show that, you write hence 1 and only 1 out of n plus 2 or n plus 4 is divisible by 3. So that is the conclusion, you have to write it. Okay, my dear children, this is the first part of our first chapter, real numbers. I hope you understood very well. So like, share with your friends and subscribe my channel and wait for a second part coming soon. Stay safe and be confident.